News updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. How can you get only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions? This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. As you know, on this show, we like to promote the arts and direct people's attention to the things that are beautiful in life, not always just the ugliness of politics. And that certainly is appropriate during the holiday season. So we have this Christmas concert coming up that we're going to discuss. I've got a couple of business items to discuss with Ron Onesti first, so we'll get to that. But I want to introduce Daniel Lobel, who is the president, creator, and executive producer at Ohareland. Ted Pruthres, the secretary-treasurer at Ohareland. Ron Onesti, who's the founder and the president and CEO of Onesti Entertainment. He owns the Arcata Theater in St. Charles. And he's also the owner and senior advisory board chairman of Ohareland. And then Bill Pesh, the Ignite the Spirit Fund. Ohareland is a production company, and they have put together an Ohareland Christmas concert that's going to be presented at the Des Plaines Theater on December 12th, and we want to talk about that. But first, welcome everybody.
You can speak now, gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank you, Dan. Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
So, Ron, but before we get to the musical offerings, I think you were on the hit list that was put out by that Geneva trustee, Martha Paschke, for all the businesses in like Geneva and St. Charles, even as far as Wheaton, for businesses that had in some material way offended Trustee Paschke by supporting Republican candidates or hosting Republican events or putting a Trump sign in your business or saying you believe in God. I mean, various crimes, speech and thought crimes. And I just wanted to get your reaction to being listed.
Well, how much credibility did that list have? It was more of an entertainment piece than a documentarial piece. It just was really something that when people were calling me about this, I couldn't understand it. First of all, some of the events that we have, which were political in some fashion. I'm a venue that wasn't really technically representative of my views. I'm a venue that gets rented out and people have their events there, and that's what it was. And for this person to be judgmental like that, I think it was just more of a joke than anything else. I really couldn't believe it.
So you didn't reach out to her to tell her to get you off the list or anything, or ask her why she did it?
No, you know what? It just seems so foolish to me. I just couldn't believe it that somebody in a public using a public platform and a public official would be allowed to do that. So, and I can tell you, people love the Arcata Theater. It's iconic. Been around for, it'll be 100 years in about 14 months, and people were just bombing her with calls and letters and texts and everything. That's what I heard. So I did not reach out. I didn't want to give her the time of day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. By the way, one other item of business. Yes. So I'm friends with Tony Svanacini, Ron, from American Eagle, and he said for me to tell you that I am friends with an Italian-American Sportsman of the Year because he thought you'd be very impressed with that.
Yes, since I awarded that to him, yes. But he's what a guy, what a company. A true American Eagle hero.
Yes. Okay.
And before
all right.
we get on to this,
enough of that.
Do
Tony
you hear what
Svanacini,
I
for
hear in
goodness
this
sakes.
musical that you're going to have a week from today? Where are the Columbus statues, and are they ever going to be going back up in Chicago? Oh, I made a room of Italians laugh here. No, what's the latest with that?
Well, I could tell there'd be my lawsuit's been going for about 3.5 years now. We've come to the end, actually, as of yesterday, to be honest with you. They'll be announced very, very soon. A very positive announcement. I've come up with a compromise offering, and the judge has ordered settlement conferences. We've had about half a dozen of them, And my attorneys, myself, along with the Chicago Park District attorneys and City of Chicago attorneys, have come to an agreement, and it's going to be a really cool. And it's something that they tried to squash. They tried to throw them away. They tried to hide the statues. We fought really hard and maintained our position. And we will emerge victorious, believe it or not. So it's a really cool thing that we'll be announcing very soon.
Please don't tell me the quid pro quo involves a statue of Lori Lightfoot going up in Grand Park.
Well, you know what? First of all, we'll save on concrete if we did that, so that's kind of cool.
Hey-o.
But no, not at all. We wouldn't do that because, of course, if you are looking for something to stone and pick up and take away the way they did the Columbus statue, maybe that is a good idea.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's talk about happy things. This Christmas concert that you and your colleagues have put on. Whoever wants to jump in, give us the backstory on this production and what people can expect if they attend.
Daniel?
So, this all began with Ron and I. We had a conversation. I wrote a new Christmas musical called Do You Hear What I Hear? And what we kind of brainstormed out was to try and have an event to announce the coming of a new musical. So we came up with the idea of having the concert to announce the coming and the birth of Do You Hear What I Hear, the musical, in Ohareland. So Ron graciously, like everything else he's ever done when I've come to him and bugged him for some favor or some major ask, he usually says yes, which is kind of strange because we have a relationship now that's going back about 40 years. And the big story that, if you really want to go back in time, in a true story, that Ron Onesti, and I'll say it on the radio, actually physically saved my life. I had a guy crack me over the head with a baseball bat one time, and when I was at Portage Park, and it's a long story, but the short part of it is when the guy was going to hit me a second time, little Ron Onesti, smallest guy on the baseball diamond, jumped on the guy's back and diverted that bat from hitting me across the head. So I owe him my life, but every time I ask him something, he's always doing me the favor. So go for it.
Wait. Well, okay, hold on a second.
Somebody mentioned we were Italian.
So I mean, is this the friendly neighborhood softball game? What was the backstory on this?
We started a baseball league at Portage Park, a men's. It was 9-on-9 baseball game. You get your 9, we get our 9. We went out and played league ball like the Cubs. And before guys like me and Ron were done, we built it into 600 members. So when you are a business channel, this is kind of the fundamental start of my business experience. Was back in my 20s. I'm almost 62. So for 40 years, that entrepreneurial spirit, came to be in startup ventures just like that. We grew it to 600 members, 27 major league size rostered baseball teams that played baseball across Chicagoland, which now has evolved into the MSBL, the MABL, and so
yeah, but what about
on.
that night? Like, what did you do to
Hard
antagonize
fire.
this man?
Well,
to the point.
Well, if I don't know how much Ron remembers, but his team,
Yeah.
we sponsored out of Softball City, where we ordered all our equipment from. Ron was the guy in the neighborhood who could get things, and so we
Like Red in Shawshank. Yeah, okay.
right. So we built this league up. Ron was in the playoffs, winning, and in the middle of the game with 2 outs to go,
Here we go.
the best player on the other team got in an argument with an umpire.
Very okay.
And then I jumped in to settle the argument. The guy threw a wad of tobacco out of his mouth into my face, and I took a big swing. I missed, and he ducked, and I fell into the back of the dugout. And when I woke up, he was cracking me over the head with that bat. So
right.
there you go.
All right, let's go back to the musical.
Wait
Do
a
you-
second.
Okay, okay.
Will this be in any way memorialized in the musical? Because I think would add some spice to it.
Yeah, everything we write, everything I write that goes into Ohareland as far as creative properties has some sort of a life experience. So this is in there somewhere in some Not this script, but some other script.
All right, well, what's the premise of Do You Hear What I Hear, which is going to be performed next Thursday night at the Des Plaines Theater in lovely Des Plaines, obviously.
So Do You Hear What I Hear, as far as the musical, is just a very simple Christmas story about a little girl who's searching to find the true meaning of Christmas. So the concert is gonna you've heard, we've Ted Putbress here, who's our head of audio and in our charity with Ron. We've cultivated a culture here in Chicago which is not typical to give birth to new musicals. So we're going to perform select songs. We have a number of original pieces that are written for the musical. My Changing Christmas would be one, and Hot Chocolate, and a few others. And then we'll also perform a few of the standards, because the musical itself doesn't just run on brand new original stuff. There are some very recognizable songs, the Celine Dion song and Do You Hear What I Hear itself, that people would recognize. But it all lays into telling that story.
So, Ted, you're in charge of the sound for this? And
Well, not
production,
necessarily
or-
sound. Actually, I'm like the bottle washer. No, I have recording experience, and Dana and I were together with Night Sphere many years ago, and we did some concerts with Ron. Ron was very gracious to help us at that particular point, and then COVID kicked in, and then my singer passed away about 5 years ago, actually yesterday. And Danny came over to my studio, and I was working on another album, and he brought a young lady there, and we started working on stuff. And he wrote this script, and I found the script to be interesting, and I've never done scripts before like this. And then when I finally discovered what the script was about, this exceptional young lady, or young girl, about 10 and a half years old, she's learning the true meaning of Christmas, and as she goes through that whole process, the story just evolves and evolves, and it really touched me. It really touched me, and for that reason, I came on board with this, and now I'm a partner with Ohareland, and there's a lot of things going on, and I'm obviously going to be part of the recording process, and also be part of the original process creation.
That's great. And then Ignite the Spirit. Tell us that. So you're having a toy fundraiser at this concert, which is a week from tonight.
Yes, once we heard about this play and about this concert, we were very excited that Dan reached out to us to see if they could donate to our charity. And with Ignite the Spirit's been around since 2003 and has donated over $2 million to 700 families of firemen and their families who have been injured on the job. And we knew that this was going to be this was a match made in heaven. I mean, we're going to ignite the spirit of Christmas. This was you couldn't write this stuff. This was too easy to get along with. So within the last few years, we've lost quite a few members from the fire department from Chicago. 9 members in the last 5.5 years, and our charity, everything we raise from this concert is going to go towards helping families like that decide to, that end up losing a member from their family and a member of our family on the fire department. But along with that, we have our core as firemen is to serve our community the best we can. So along with 15% of every ticket that's sold using the code IGNITE online, we also have a toy drive that we're going to be collecting at the door, and all that's going to be going to children in the hospitals. So at Lurie's, we'll make sure that they have a good Christmas as well. And we're glad to be part of Ohareland and partnering with T-10 and Ron Onesti Group. We're excited to be a part of this.
The concert is Do You Hear What I Hear at the Des Plaines Theater right there on Minor Street in downtown Des Plaines, December 12th, next Thursday. Tickets are available at DesPlainesTheater.com or oshows.com, and that's where you put in that code?
Yes, if you're going on for tickets to oshows.com, you can put in IGNITE as your promo code, and 15% of your purchase will go to Ignite the Spirit. Now, if you can't make it to the concert and you still want to make a donation, you can go to ignitethespirit.org, and donate as much you'd like, and every penny counts. I can't stress enough on how much every dollar goes to the families of fallen or injured firefighters. Like I said, we've had 9 in the last 5.5 years members who have passed away, and several others injured severely. And it is just so important to get out there, donate, and especially this time of year. I know everybody's looking to do a little something nice for others, and I'm telling you, this is the way to go.
And Dan, this is going to be family friendly, no violence, right? No bats.
No bats, family friendly, kid orientated. There's enough fun stuff for both grandmother, grandfather, mom, dad, and children alike. It's a story that transcends all of that. So.
That is Dan LaBelle. He's the president and creator, executive producer at Ohareland. Also Ted Putbres, secretary-treasurer at Ohareland. Ron Onesti, the founder, president, CEO of Onesti Entertainment, and senior advisory board chairman of Ohareland, and Bill Pesh, you just heard from, Ignite the Spirit Fund. oshows.com for tickets, ignitethespirit.org if you want to make a direct donation to Ignite the Spirit. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Best of luck with the concert as well as the fundraising efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Dan, great show. We love you guys. Keep it going, man.
Thanks,
Thank you
Ronnie.
very much.
See you
Ron.
Thursday.
Oh, to Ron.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about our 2024 Food for the Poor campaign.
If you've listened to the station and to our show for any length of time, then you already know about Food for the Poor. They're a nonprofit, faith-based organization that provides food, water, medicine, clothing, and life-saving supplies directly to local partners in Latin America and